So, in fact, 200 years ago, we had around 1.8 billion people that were poor, and these numbers today has changed. Poverty, in my opinion, is a political problem. It's a political choice that governments can take to eradicate it. I'm talking from a standpoint as a poor person as well, who lived under $2 a day for 2 years. And I was earning good money as a Dutch man, but later everything changed. But before I talk about my story a little bit, we are 100 million people off target from the UN SDGs. So if you are thinking we can reach 2030 and achieve that goal, I'm sorry to break the news, we cannot. And that's not me saying that, that's the UN SDGs themselves. If you go on their website and see by how far are we from the target, they themselves say by 2030 there will be still 100 million people in poverty. But does that mean we have to do nothing? Here I disagree and I say we can do something, especially in the Netherlands, because we have 125,000 children that are living in extreme poverty, and we have 8.8% of the Dutch population living in poverty. And Netherlands is one of the top 10 countries around the world when it comes to innovation. The city that I live in, the city of The Hague, we call it the city of peace and justice. Well, there is no peace and justice in The Hague if we see on a daily basis people sleeping at Den Haag Central Station because they're poor and they have no place to live. So I think I answered the first question, are we going to achieve it? No, yeah, sorry, but we have to fight for it. We have to fight for it because it's sometimes fun to do the impossible. And this is where my essence and my purpose was discovered back in 2014. So 23 September 2014, I was sleeping at home in Den Haag, in my own house, warm blanket, good meal, one big cup salon in the evening. 24 September, I was sleeping in the detention center, in a prison. Cold floor. First time I heard the word tosti in the prison. I'm not a criminal. I was born in Kuwait, and during 1990, the Gulf War started. The birth registries got destroyed. So my birth certificate got burned. And we moved to Lebanon. I went to school, I finished university, graduated, went to Dubai, worked for 7 years in the telecom industry, and then got a job offer to come to the Netherlands. This was a flashback of my life in 10 seconds. Now, in school, I learned that Europe is very advanced, we call it a developed country. So where I came from, Dubai, I had 3 cars. I was living on the 18th floor. I was having dinner outside almost every day. So Dubai is a developing country. When I imagined going to a developed country, I said, maybe I'll ride a flying car. Maybe we can have trips to space and come back. But what I saw in the Netherlands, very tall people, very small houses, shit of horses everywhere, railways, bicycles, and it was totally against what I learned in school. And this is a developed country. So I wanted to be a Dutch man, because I knew if I spent 5 years in the Netherlands and I learned the Dutch culture, I can change my passport. And I'm not Kuwaiti, so I was born in Kuwait, but I don't carry their nationality. I'm Syrian. And for 30 years, my passport was a curse for me. I cannot travel anywhere just because I'm judged on my nationality. Now, it was a dream to change my nationality. I said, yeah, being Dutch, I can travel to 128 countries without a visa. That's perfect. So how do you be Dutch? You complain about the weather. You complain about taxes. You get a dog. You eat kapsalon. So life was perfect. My work contract was not renewed in 2014. So I came in 2010. I worked for 4 years. I paid taxes for 4 years. And 2014, it was not renewed due to the economic crisis. So the only chance for me to stay in the Netherlands was to apply for asylum. And I thought, hey, I have a BSN number, I have a dog, I cheer for ADO Den Haag, so I might spend 3 weeks in an asylum camp or 1 month because it's a bit busy there. Lots of Syrians are coming from Syria to the Netherlands, so it doesn't make sense. I'm the only guy who will go back. And plus, it's war. So what do you think was the time frame that I finished my asylum process?
4 years.
I was lucky to spend 2 years. So from 2014 till 2016, you're right for 4 years because that's the average time a person spends in the Netherlands as a refugee. You spend usually 5 years of your life in a camp, in a place like this. So this was in Zwolle. My bed was this one. My bed was 001, so I was the first one to enter in the camp, and I remember NOS was there with their cameras, and we're all hiding our faces. So it was a very uncomfortable experience in the beginning, but later I discovered my purpose. And this was because in this place, we had a specific type of food that we eat. So it's not from the Sheraton 5 stars. In the morning, we get 3 slices of bread and 3 slices of cheese. For lunch, we get a cup of soup and an egg. And for dinner, we get cooked rice and vegetables. So for one day, I said, I'm really hungry, spending the 24th morning till night without food, so I can eat anything. But then after 3 weeks, I said, I'm losing weight. Okay, it's a good diet. Stay positive. But after 1 month, I said, no, I cannot eat that anymore. So we had a meeting with the COA, and we said, and the COA is the organization responsible for handling refugees. We told them, hey, we have lots of Syrian talent in the camp who can cook. We can cook ourselves. They say, yeah, you don't have an ID now. I said, what do you mean you don't have an ID? I have a BSN number. I said, yes, but your BSN number was ingetrokken. This is the second Dutch word I learned in the camp. So first was tosti, next one was ingetrokken. And I knew that now it is not only on my driving license that it says I'm born in unknown because I don't have a birth certificate. Now I'm living the life of the invisible man. So I tend to feel, I tend to walk, I tend to be the local problem of many people around the world, 1.2 billion people who do not have access to identity. 290 million children under the age of 5 are born without a certificate. So what do they feel? What happens in their life? I was blessed to be for 2 years in that situation. Because with my knowledge and experience, I was able to turn that challenge into business, into money. But not only money that translates into dollars and euros in the bank account, but translates into impact in people's lives. And I gained those people as customers, as clients. And now I can dump on them more services. They can buy more, and they can be loyal to me and loyal to the brand and the entity we are creating. It sounds a little bit business, but that's who I am. I'm a businessman. I look at problems, I look into the future, and I try to solve them now and create a sustainable way of that problem not to re-exist again and for people to continue their lives. So as a refugee living in the camp, eating this specific type of food, part of my journey, what I do in day-to-day is I train on software. So I give trainings for corporates, for people who are interested in new technologies, how or what are they? So one of the emerging softwares in 2012 was Bitcoin. And as a person who likes new technologies, I was having a small operation of Bitcoins in The Hague. And I was making them. Part of what I bought was socks.
Nice.
So I think that's for me. I bought socks with Bitcoins in 2013. In 2014 in the camp, I used that technology to buy pizza. So I went on Thuisbezorgd.nl. I ordered a large pepperoni pizza to Ter Apel. Ter Apel, for the people who don't know where it is, it's in the northern part of Holland, basically next to nowhere, on the German borders. There's no trains, only buses go there, and there's one bus, number 73. You have to wait 45 minutes for it to come. And there in the camp, cold February, I ordered this large pizza. Now for people living for months on rice and vegetables, when you give them pizza for dinner, I think something flips in their brains. And it was chaos in the camp. You know, the message spread like fire. There is pizza in the camp. So everyone's coming to the tent I was in. People were lining up outside, like they want to see, is it real? Is there really pizza in the camp? And the security guards were having a fight with the bezorger, with the delivery man, because he wants to enter in the camp, and it's not allowed. So the question started to raise up, how did you pay for this? How did you order it? We all have cash in our pockets, but we cannot transact online. So if I call a pizza restaurant and I say, hey, I'm living in Ter Apel in this refugee camp, would you send me a pizza? He would definitely not do that, because mostly you will think it's a scam. But I was able to pay upfront. I was able to pay digitally. I was able to pay with my smartphone. So if I want to use PayPal or a credit card, I need an ID. And as a refugee, I don't have that privilege. What I had was basically my smartphone and an internet connection and an access to a software that will not ask me my first name, my last name, my date of birth, where do I live, do I have a passport, am I black, am I white, I'm from Syria, am I from Iran, all these questions that financial institutions ask to include you, to give you a bank account. Now it's a piece of software I download and I am financially included. So we took that idea, and of course for 2 years people are talking about that man who's born in Kuwait, who doesn't have a birth certificate. He says he's Syrian, but his Arabic accent is Lebanese. He speaks Dutch and English. I mean, you're a spy. You're definitely James Bond coming in the camp, and you're gonna go and tell Assad all the names of the refugees that are there. And the Dutch people were thinking, oh, you're definitely from a terrorist group who's coming to do something in this country. It was very hard for me to explain my story every single time. That's why I learned how to pitch. I learned how to speak in public, because before I had stage fright. So we formed a team, and by the way, I moved between 5 refugee camps, Ter Apel, Zwolle, Gilserain, Boedel. I can name a lot of villages. I can speak a lot of accents simply because I visited all these places. I lived in them. My last station was in Zeist. Zeist in the future is the place where they will put the Dutch gold in it. So it's gonna move from the vaults in Amsterdam. It will go to Zeist. I'm really proud of that. I lived in that city where in the future it will host the Dutch gold reserves. Zeist also has a military base. Soesterberg is a known place for the marechaussee where they do their trainings. So it's a really nice place. We went to the Jaarbeurs in Utrecht. We participated in Startup Weekend. It's a Techstars hackathon. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We came out winners on Sunday evening. We took the first place. Some of these people in the picture are refugees. Some of them are Dutch people. We have Dorota, who was 16 years old at that time, like 3 years ago. We won the event based on the idea of protecting certificates using blockchain technology. And this is where my startup came to life. It's called TYKN. We are a tech for good company. We build softwares for digital identity institutions, specifically like NGOs, and we help them bring privacy, portability, and security into IDs. From all my journey, there are some lessons that I would like to share with you, and some keys on how can we tackle UN SDGs and how can we tackle this problem, not from a donation point of view and not from a policy point of view, but from innovation without permission. To do something without taking permission to do it. Just you can do it, you can go home and do it yourself. You don't need to take permission for that. Because if I waited for the Dutch government to give me permission, to give me an ID, so that I can do my startup, I would have been waiting until now. But we decided to do something and not to wait. So the keys are very simple. 3, in marketing, they have, I think, the 5 Ps, position, product, price, promotion. I want you to remember the 3 Ps, the problem, the profit, and the purpose. The problem is to build up on what Dr. Edith was talking about, understanding the problem in your local context. That is a very key thing for success. When you're building a startup, understand the problem that you are tackling, because understanding the problem is 90% of the solution. How big Uber is, how big all these companies are, they really owned the problems. And that's why they were able to go at the scale they are today. Second point is purpose. It is never a happy day or a sad day in a journey of a startup or a company. It will be always mixed feelings. It will be always what we call a roller coaster. You will be up and you will be down. But whenever you are up, remember why you started this and reinvest that money into more innovation, into more projects, into impacting the lives of more people. And when you are down, remember also the purpose of why you are doing this, to lift yourself up back again. Because if you are not going to do that, and if you are not the purpose of change, nobody's gonna fill in your shoes and be the purpose of change. So your purpose, for me, it is number one. It is always about the purpose. And a general rule of business, investors and money is not in ideas, it is in teams. And when the team is not anchored to the purpose, the investors will not be encouraged to put money in that business. Profit is not only your positive numbers on the balance sheet. Profit is how are you creating this impact on the ground? Is it measurable? Can you measure it? Can we know how many children are going out of poverty every day because of your service? Can we know how many children are being registered? How much average money is the family now spending? How much average time are the children going to school? So there is a lot of metrics and numbers and data that you can take, and that is profit. Now we talked about the keys. So what are the tools? The tools are very simple. A smartphone. That is something that everybody has. Nobody today walks without a smartphone. When you say Uganda, Uganda is more connected to smartphones than Netherlands. Kenya, same thing. The whole African continent, in my opinion, will be more advanced than what we have in the Netherlands. So smartphone is a very important key to achieve any of these UN SDGs, because it gives us connectivity. It connects people to a cause, to a network, to a community. And yes, you can play games on your smartphone, but you can sometimes save a life with a smartphone through a simple call, through a simple SOS message. Self-education. During the journey of me as the invisible man, all what I had was, besides my clothes, my smartphone, the internet connection, and my Bitcoin wallet, was time. So what do I do from 9 in the morning till 9 in the evening when I sleep? Two things. I volunteered in the camp. So we were cleaning other tents. We were helping other people, telling the nice stories about the Netherlands as my experience in those 4 years. But most importantly, something I did and many refugees as well did is self-education. So linking back to the smartphone, we access online schools like Coursera, Khan Academy, Udacity, and we learn something. Some of them wanted to be artists, so they took art classes. Some of them wanted to be hackers, they took software development classes. I was fascinated, I'm still fascinated by Bitcoin, so I joined the University of Nicosia and I did my master's online. From the university, I got a full scholarship, 20,000 euros to finish my master's in 2 years, sitting in the camp. So self-education helped me a lot in talking to policymakers in the Netherlands and pushing our vision of a digital identity that needs private, secure, and being portable. Something that also relates to the UN SDGs, and in my opinion is also not, we don't talk about it a lot, is self-care. Take care of yourselves. Sleep well, drink lots of water, sports, go out with your husband, wife, girlfriend, friends, get drunk, you know, do things that are somehow crazy, somehow will give you good memories, because those memories will also help you in the future to anchor to your purpose and lift you up when you are sad and bring you down back to earth when you are too happy. Self-care is also about hygiene. Self-care is about how mentally good you are. You will feel pressured, you will cry, it's fine. You might need a psychologist. Take a phone call and call. And don't call, I think IPSIQ, because they have like 6 months waiting time. If you need help, just go ask for it, please. Don't leave. Don't think, hey, I'm by myself, or I have no one here. Now, my last message before we open for questions is, everything is nice, it is fluffy, it's positive, but it can't happen without the policymakers. So when you are going to vote, make sure you vote for people who represent you and represent your ideology and represent what you believe in. If we are going to change the world, the people who are taking decisions need to be like us. Educated, know about UN SDGs, their interest is in the community, is in the country, is in the future, and not in their pockets. And I'm speaking like this. I know here in the Netherlands we might not see it a lot, but where I come from, Lebanon, the country is destroyed because we keep on voting for the same people for 40 years, and those people do not represent who we are now. So to wrap it up, are we going to achieve the UN SDGs? All of them? No. In my opinion, it's more of a you're in the desert and you have a mirage, and it's a mirage. It's a fugazi. It's a nice cloud. But the problems that UN SDGs represent are real. Climate change is real. Doctor, you were sharing this picture of where is climate change is going to affect, and the heart of Africa was red. But where are we living? We're living underwater. If one ice cube in the northern globe sinks down, the first people to swim are the Dutch people, because we literally live underwater. So we need to take care of the climate, and everything is related to climate change and related to N1, N7, N10. It's all interconnected. So policymakers, yes, they can be the catalyst, they can be the change, but I think we can do much more better job than them. Thank you.